For many people, looking at the mirror is a nightmare experience because what is reflected back to them is not liked by them. And so the idea usually is, okay, let me change what is there. Let me change my face, my body. Let me tweak this, change that, add this, etc., exercise, whatever. And then I'll feel better. Then that image will change and I'll feel better, right? And so people go about, trying to change this and that, and nothing really changes. The more you change something in yourself, the more things you need to change. And then there's this standstill that happens, that there are certain things you can't change. There are certain things you want to, but whatever you do, there's always some kind of self-sabotaging that happens, which keeps you from creating that change, right? So what is this about? Is this an experience of powerlessness that is telling you that you're helpless in this life? Is that what it is about? Or is there something else behind it? And it's about understanding that. And then that peace that you need, or that joy, peace, whatever it is that you are looking for, will come to be, right? So in this video, this is what I'm going to explain. So let me start from the beginning. When you look at yourself in the mirror and the first thought you have is, I need to change this, I need to add this, I need to correct this, etc., etc. The idea, the thought that you're coming from is that you are flawed. You're not enough. There's always something to change about you because you are flawed. And so when you think about it, when you feel that, what that situation, that experience is mirroring back to you, is that in your life, throughout the day, that's how you're perceiving yourself. And everything that you do, the thoughts that are going to come out of your mouth, the deeds that you're going to do, and everything is going to be based on that premise, on the premise that you're flawed. And there's always something that needs to be corrected in you. And so the relationship you have with your image, with the mirror that you have in front of you, is much deeper than your face, than how your face looks or how your body looks. It's so much deeper. Because in that moment, what is being shown to you is that the moment you look at yourself, that's the moment when you start correcting yourself because you think you're flawed. So imagine that throughout the day, that's how you're living. So if that's the case, how can you be fine? How can that not hurt? Because most of the time when we look at the mirror, okay, there's this to change or this to do or whatever it is that we tell ourselves, right? The idea is that, okay, if I change this, then I'll be fine, right? But have you tried it? I mean, for example, let's say that you do change that. Is that enough? Or do you afterwards realize that there's something else to change? Okay, so you go about changing that. And then you succeed. And then there's something else that comes. And then there's something else. Why is it that is coming up over and over and over again? And so there's this feeling of helplessness that comes in. You're completely powerless. I mean, like the universe is against you, right? In that moment, because every moment something is corrected, something else needs to be corrected. And so that feeling of powerlessness is not there to show you that you are powerless. It's that feeling is actually telling you that this way is taking you into powerlessness. This way is where you are leaking power. This way is not the way to go. And that's why you don't feel good, you suffer. It's also telling you what that way is. And that's why you have the same experience coming up over and over again. I change this, I correct this about myself because I'm flawed. And again, I change this because I'm flawed. And then you'll start seeing, okay. All the time I'm thinking I'm flawed. Well, if I think I'm flawed, well, I need to correct myself all the time, right? And okay, I can do that. And maybe that's the way to go. But then again, I'm suffering. And maybe, that's a clue for you. I feel powerless. That's a clue, right? I'm losing power. I'm losing my energy. And so this in itself is an experience that is showing you where not to go. That is showing you something about yourself that is very deep, right? Another thing that it's also showing you is not to take things literally, right? Because it's really not only about that face, about the way that face or that body looks, but you're such a deep being that everything is deep. So when you take it literally, you're making yourself one-dimensional. And that won't feel good because it's not your nature. So that in itself is telling you something more about yourself, right? And so what I'm trying to convey here is that when you look at the mirror, you will become aware of many of the thoughts that are reflected back to you. The thoughts that you have inside. And it's a moment of choice where you can run away from it, which means that you're taking the route where you're changing yourself. You don't want to see yourself, you don't like yourself, and you're hiding from it. And because it hurts, it's going to come back to you. You can go ahead and change everything about you. And of course, I'm sure you've tried that. That won't change either. Because the root cause of your suffering is that you see yourself as not enough. The root cause of your suffering is that you think that you're flawed. And when you think that you're flawed, that you're not enough, you are going to see someone that is flawed in your mirror. You will see someone who is not enough in your mirror. And it's not only in that physical mirror, but throughout the day. Everywhere in your job, everything you do, it's going to be tinged. It's going to be imbued with this energy of it's not enough. And that's what's causing the suffering. So the next time you go back to that, you look at that mirror, it's a moment of choice. You can run away, you can change, you can whatever. Or you can literally look at yourself and dive deep inside. Right? What it means is that you look and you start facing those thoughts. And you become aware of the way you're treating yourself. And it's a very difficult thing I'm asking you. It's one of the most difficult exercises to do. So I'm just saying, this is not for the faint-hearted, right? But maybe you have enough of the way, you've been treating yourself until now because of these thoughts, right? Most of it is unconscious, but it still hurts. And so when you look at the mirror and all these thoughts and feelings come up, I want you to sit down and start writing them down. Start becoming aware of how they impact you, how you feel, what it is that is coming up. You will start seeing all these moments in your life of how you treated yourself based on that thought, on that belief that you have, that you're not enough, that you're flawed. You'll start seeing what kind of decisions you're making on a daily basis. And they all stem from that thought, from that belief that you're flawed and that you're not enough. And this is a hard moment to go through. But this is what awareness is about. When you start becoming aware, you start feeling the way those beliefs impact you. What will happen is at some point, it's not only some mental idea that you have, but every part of you is seeing it like a movie, right? And when that happens, you cannot not change. It's not going to be possible. It's like the shift happens on its own. And it's going to be really difficult for you to make decisions based on I'm flawed, I'm not enough. But you'll start making decisions based on I'm full. I like standing by me. I am who I am in this moment. And that's what I chose. That's what I want to be. I can't imagine being something else or somebody else. I don't want to be somebody else or something else. I just want the experience of me. And that's going to come very easily. It's like it becomes just second nature at some point. And so when you start having, maybe some old thoughts will come up and you'll start, seeing yourself as not enough, then automatically it won't feel good. And you'll be redirected into feeling good in yourself, into feeling safe in yourself. And then you'll start making certain decisions. Maybe you will see I talk a lot about mirroring, right? I talk a lot about the fact that we need to do inner work and that we need to take responsibility for our own thoughts. And I also want to add that it's not only about you, that other people need to take responsibility too. They need to do their own work because they also impact you. And that is very important. Because it's not like you'll do all the inner work for everyone around you. That's not possible. But what will happen is that when you see that there are people or things or whatever it is that comes up that go against or fuel your belief of I'm not enough, because there's a lot of things that fuel that on the outside, right? When you see that there are things, people, experiences that want to fuel or plant even the seed of the belief that you're not enough, when that happens, you will know how to get out of there. You will take responsibility for your own stuff, but you also give responsibility to others. and you will take yourself away from those type of situations. Right? Because this is also important. And let me just stop it here. Again, when you look at the mirror, when you see yourself and you don't like what you're seeing, it's not about you changing yourself so you like yourself. It's about you becoming aware of the fact that you don't like yourself. When you become aware of that, and you become aware that that thought is what is causing harm in you, that will change, and your relationship with your mirror also will change. Your relationship with life in general will also change. So if you have any comments, any questions, let me know down below. If you want to work with me because you have maybe these thoughts that come up that you don't like about yourself and you want to change that, you could always book a session. There's a link down below, and see you in my next video.